It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club inside the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State Campus, is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs, going above and beyond for you. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. Since 1970, you've never had it so good. And Eagle, our community connected. Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And good afternoon, and welcome into another edition of Tiger Talk. This is Gerard Wellbrock. We've got a good program lined up for you today as we start to wind down the fall sports schedule and get ready to transition into the winter sports. We're going to talk some cross country with head coach Jason McCullough. Men's soccer coach Jerry Cleary will be here. Jessica Wood-Atkins, Fort Hays State volleyball, and Chris Brown from Fort Hays State football. So looking forward to catching up with those four. We'll get you a women's soccer update as we move along here as well. They're in postseason play. They've got a match tomorrow down in Wichita, so we'll have a little bit of a preview on that. Again, we remind you can join us by sending in a question via email. Go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab, and when you get that drop-down menu, you'll see Ask the Coach. Submit your question, and you'll have a chance to win a T-shirt from the Fort Hays State Athletics. And, of course, everybody here at the show live can submit a question as well. And, again, if we use it, a chance to win that T-shirt from Fort Hays State Athletics. And, again, always a reminder, you can join us in person by joining Tiger Club. It's pretty easy. Contact the Fort Hays State Athletic Office, $100. Your fee goes toward Fort Hays State scholarships for student athletes, and then you can join us every Wednesday at Tiger Club here at the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State University campus. All right, let's jump right into it. Let's talk some cross country. Head coach Jason McCullough joins us. They still have some cross country left in the season. Reagan Hogsden headed to the national championship meet for the second year in a row. She was a fifth-place finisher at the regionals last weekend. 2 all-region performers for the women, and obviously a good day. You'd love to have gotten JC in as well, but you get one to the nationals, and it's been a great season for Reagan, and she had a great regional race, and still gets to go one more time in the national championships.
Yeah, she had a great weekend, and that was her first loss of the year, yeah. But it was one of her better performances. By far her best time for a 6-kilometer course. So, yeah, she placed 5th overall. Last year she was 15th at the region and qualified, and this year she was 5th and made it to the national meet.
Well, it just goes to show you just never know what JC finished 13th, but that doesn't go. And there's a lot of variables for some of those at-large slots, but not quite good enough, but a great race in her own right.
Yeah, JC's ran real well this year, and she was 3rd at the conference, and she was 3rd among conference athletes at this meet. So she still had an extremely good meet and just missed it by one person.
Wow.
The person right in front of her, like maybe 2.5 seconds, made it to nationals, and she did not.
That makes it tough when you're that close. The women finished 7th. Where you'd hope you would be? I know you kind of plot how it could go, and based on times and what everybody else does. Is that where you thought you might kind of be, or maybe a little bit higher?
Yeah, well, I thought that maybe the best we could have done was 6th, and we ended up 7th. We were ranked 8th in the region rankings going in, so we exceeded that, and we by far exceeded what they expected us to do at the conference level. So we did well there. Everyone in front of us was either nationally ranked or had been nationally ranked at one time, so all good teams that beat us, and I wasn't disappointed. We had 3 real good performances, and then our 4th and 5th did well too, but they were just a little further back, younger athletes.
What was the weather like for the regionals? Was it a little warmer than you like to run? I know they kind of warmed back up a little bit from what we had the weekend before. Was it a good day to run?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was a little warmer. It was in the low 60s, which sounds pretty bad to say that's too warm, but low 60s and sunny, you can have some trouble sometimes with some athletes if it's real sunny and humid. It's Missouri, so it's a little humid, more humid than here. So overall, it's a pretty good day, though. I'll take that.
We'll talk about the men here a little bit, but just talk about the women's season. I mean, really, by and large, a pretty good year. Obviously, Reagan and JC kind of led that group along the way, but I would think you're pretty pleased with how they performed really all season long.
Yeah, great season. We had 3 victories, and then, of course, 3rd at the conference meet, which was a great performance, and a 4th at Oklahoma State, and then 7th at the regionals. So, yeah, I can't ask for too much more. We had some good performances from our top athletes and from our developing athletes. So, really looking forward to the next few years. Technically, we don't graduate anybody, so if we can talk everyone into using their 5th year. Reagan would be her 5th year next year if she comes back. So hopefully she will and could have a very good team.
Yeah, because you had a good blend of young runners for the first time, which we've talked about, and then the veterans, which is probably good. But now, yeah, you should be poised going into the next year to do some really good things, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's exciting. You got to tell those young athletes, look at what the older ones did when they were freshmen. So Darian, for example, who was 27th, just missed all region. She was all conference. She was about 90th place at the regional meet her freshman year, maybe not even that high. And we got some girls that are running the same level as she did as a freshman. So, if they can continue to improve and stay healthy, they can be up there as well.
All right, let's talk about the men a little bit. 12th out of 29 schools. Grant Bradley led the way with a 32nd place finish. Tell us about the guys' race.
So not too bad. I mean, Grant we thought might have done a little better. I don't think he's feeling too well. We had a few guys that had good performances, and some of them just ran a little bit lousy. So on the men's side, we ended up 12th, but the top 10 teams were all nationally ranked or had been ranked in the last couple of weeks. So we knew it was going to be tough to be top 10. Only 3 teams went from our region, surprisingly. And there were, all those national ranked teams, and only 3 of them actually got to go. So there were some surprises at the regional meet. For example, Augustana finished 7th, and I think they were top 10 in the country, and so their team doesn't even qualify. So there are a lot of surprises on the men's side.
Yep, you never know when it comes to race day. Talk about the guys a little bit overall. I mean, you kind of the same situation. Had some young guys out there. Just how you feel they did, and things to improve on for next season.
Yeah, we don't lose anybody for next year, and we had a lot of freshmen, redshirt freshmen this year, and a couple that we didn't run because we're holding them off till next year. So beginning of the year, I thought we're 1 year away from having a real good men's team. So I still believe that. That may be top 5 or 6 at the region, and hope we make it to nationals. But I think next year is one of the big years for the men's team.
All right, let's talk a little bit more now about Reagan gearing up for the national championships. That'll be on Saturday, November 18th, back in Joplin, so a familiar course. How do you go about with her training? Do some still, even though their season's over, run with them? How do you train now till you get ready for the national meet?
Yeah, so what we've been doing lately, since we have indoor meets starting in December, we run our cross-country athletes through December and then give them a little bit of a break. That way they have a good base going into December. So a lot of them are still running, so we're not really taking a break. And so they're continue to train a little bit with Reagan. She had a workout on her own already to prepare for nationals, and she'll have one more hard workout, and that's pretty much it. So, she's geared up and ready, and, I feel like we're going to have a good performance from her.
Yeah, and it's her second trips. First time a female runner in cross country from Fort Hays State's made it to multiple national championship meets. The fact she was there a year ago, she had an All-American status. How does that help her going into the race, just having that experience and run before at the national meet level?
Well, it gives her a lot of confidence, I believe. And, she's one of those athletes that she's going to bring her A game no matter what. And whatever that is, it's going to be her best effort. And she's been very consistent. And having that experience from last year, placing 40th, she was the last All-American spot. She's excited to do a little bit better. The girl right in front of her at regionals was 17th last year at nationals. Okay. So, she's hoping for a top 20, top 25 spot.
Well, that'd be a great cap to a great year. Top 5 finish in every race, but that's even misleading because that 5th place finish was last week. As you said, she'd been a champion. So she's had a great year, and it's been really fun to track her. Jason, we appreciate it. Certainly a great job with your teams, and wish you and Reagan the best of luck at the national championships in Joplin. Hopefully it is another All-American race for her.
All right. Well, thank you, Gerard.
Here you go. That is Jason McCullough. He is the head cross-country coach at Fort Hays State. Again, Reagan Hodgson heading to the national meet. That'll be on the 18th of November down in Joplin. Tiger Talk today brought to you in part by the Taco Shop. Whether you order by phone, use their handy app, dine in, carry out, or delivery, you've never had it so good. It's the Taco Shop. They've been a Hayes tradition since 1970. Back with more after this break on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC. Shotgun snap for Dawson. Here comes the blitz. Tigers pick it up. They've got a man wide open. It's the freshman, Jabari Lewis. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. He was wide open in the middle of the end zone, and the Tigers answer with a touchdown on their first possession. Yeah, some of the action from Saturday in Warrensburg. Fort Hays State football with Central Missouri. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on the program when head coach Chris Brown joins us. But right now, talking a little soccer, and we're going to get to men's coach Jerry Cleary here in just a second. But first, I want to give you a women's soccer update. They're hitting the road, getting set for the semifinals of the MIAA tournament, headed down to Wichita. It's at the Stryker Sports Complex on the west side of Wichita. Fort Hays State will play number 15 Central Missouri in the conference tournament semifinals. They lost to the Jennies 3-0 in Warrensburg 3 weeks ago, so they'll play them tomorrow. The Tigers beat Northeastern State 2-0 in the quarterfinals this past Friday. They're now 13-3-3 on the season heading into their match tomorrow. Receiving votes again this week in the Division II Top 25 poll and are 6th in the Division II Central Region ranking. So obviously big match coming up for them as they hope to continue their season past the conference tournament into the national tournament. The All-MIAA women's soccer team announced late last week. Tigers had 10 named to the squad. First team selection, Emily Hutchings at defender. Second team, Riley Madden, Sullivan Kelly, and Allison Worley. Third team, goalkeeper Isabel Robin and Ryan McCabe. And then the honorable mention picks, Hannah Marez, Montserrat Diaz, Kinsley Wagner, and Megan Wyman. So good representation for Fort Hays State on the All-MIAA team. And again, that match tomorrow with the Jennies is at noon from Wichita. And of course, it'll be on the MIAA network for folks to watch that. Tiger men also gearing up for conference play. They'll be at the GAC MIAA tournament. They will play Friday down in Bethany, Oklahoma. The Tigers, the number 3 seed, and they'll get number 25, Rogers State, in the 4 o'clock match. We're joined now by head coach Jerry Cleary. Congratulations in the conference tournament. You get the 3 seed, and since we've talked to you last, I know you lost that finale to Rogers, but you got to be proud of your team. It took them a while, but they seem to have found themselves, and you obviously finished the season on a really strong note going into this postseason tournament.
Yeah, we finished with 4 wins. We beat number 24 in the country, turned around, beat number 17 in the country, and then lost to 25.
But yeah, playing well. I think you're 6-2-2 in your last 10 matches. What's been the difference? What has changed here in the last 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks compared to what was taking place earlier in the season?
We just sort of starting to figure it out. As I said, earlier in the season, we were starting 5 freshmen. Mm-hmm. Now we start 1. So we're just slowly but surely getting it.
Yeah, well, it obviously shows you're playing a lot better. Let's talk about Rogers State a little bit. That's who you will play in the semifinals coming up on Friday. You just played them and lost 3-2. Is that a good thing? Or I guess it really doesn't matter. You have no choice. But the fact you play them and come right back around, is that an advantage, a disadvantage, or any thoughts on that?
It's the same thing the last 3 years in a row. It's been the exact same conference semifinal. So they've beaten us twice this year. So
what's going to, I guess, what do you recall from those first couple of matches is what made them successful against you? What will you have to do differently on Friday to turn the tide and beat the Hillcats to advance on?
They've got like 12 seniors. They're tall. They're like 6'2", 6'3" everywhere. They're really direct. So when we're trying to play, as soon as they get it, they bypass 6, 7 players and they're straight at your goal. So it's really hard. We've got to stop them.
Right, yeah. And, I mean, when you deal with that size, obviously you are what you are. One of the biggest challenges in trying to go up against them and do, as you say, kind of slow them down a little bit.
Yeah, we've got to get free kicks, corners, stop the game, go in transition, stop it being like a basketball game. Just sort of maintain it to limit their chances.
Confidence-wise, I would think your team has got to be kind of at an all-time high level right now. Kind of as you said, you kind of figured things out, but to see those the process of the year, to have results and get wins, I would think confidence-wise you're as good as it's been at any point this season for your guys.
I don't know about that. They're oblivious to anything. They don't know, but they are. They whether they won last Saturday or didn't, they're not going to change.
As I say, does that maybe help them? I mean, because obviously you got some good teams ahead of you. You've beaten some ranked teams here down the stretch. Maybe does that maybe help? Just kind of being oblivious to all of that, just go out and play.
I don't know, but a lot of these teams have won the conference and gone to nationals. Like, we're one game away from a conference final. We're another game away from the national tournament, so it's up to them.
Yep, it's exciting times, and it seems like the 4 teams that are in there, it's always competitive. You're pretty familiar with all of them, so there shouldn't be a whole lot of surprises for you guys going into this one on Friday.
No, the weather, Oklahoma referees playing on grass, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Other than that, what is the pitch like down there?
Yeah, it'll be okay, but they have women's soccer made postseason. It's been raining there for 2 weeks, so when you have 2 teams training on it, playing on it, it's one bad storm away from being bad.
Well, and then you do get spoiled on the turf where you have a pretty nice playing field every time you go out there. All right, well, hopefully it's a start of a good run this weekend. It's been fun to see your team kind of get things figured out, and I guess regardless of how it goes this weekend, you got to be excited with all the youth you've had on this team of what they've still been able to accomplish, and hopefully it's a lot more and kind of laying the foundation for years ahead with your program.
Yeah, God knows. With the transfer portal, God knows.
Yeah,
could be all in my office next week.
That's a good point. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us. Safe travels down to Oklahoma. Best of luck. Go get those Hillcats, get to the championship, and then who knows what happens from there. You maybe have some more soccer to do after the weekend.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, you bet. That is Jerry Cleary. He is the head men's soccer coach at Fort Hays State University, and they'll be hitting the road, heading down to Bethany, Oklahoma, where they will take on Rogers State. That'll be at 4 o'clock on Friday. Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition invite you to join Tiger fans with a plan. If you're going to be drinking, always designate a sober driver. We are going to take a break. We're going to talk some volleyball. When we come back, Jessica Wood-Atkins joins us as Tiger Talk continues here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
The Golden Q is the place for football and food. Friday night, when your team is out of town, stop in for your favorite burger and watch the game, plus catch every NFL game with the NFL Sunday Ticket. Want to enjoy the game from home, but still eat the Golden Q's tasty food? Use their app to place an order to go or use DoorDash. Then when it's time to blow off some steam, head to the Fort, duck pin, bowling, axe throwing, VR, and check out their huge outdoor patio. Book a party room for your group or host a large gathering at the Fort. The Golden Q and the Fort in Hays.
With a combination of Kaiser Liquor and Fort Hays State Athletics, you're sure to be into something good. The Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hays.
Handoff, Dixon bounces out to the left 15. He's on his feet to the 10, to the 5, and knocked out of bounds at the 1. No, they say touchdown! Touchdown, Fort Hays State! A late signal from the official. It's a 29-yard touchdown run by Travis Dixon, his 3rd of the year, and the Tigers have the lead with 4:33 to go in the first quarter. Yeah, more of the action from Saturday in Warrensburg. We'll talk football with head coach Chris Brown, gearing up to wrap up the regular season at home this Saturday against Emporia State. But right now we're talking some volleyball. Head coach Jessica Wood-Atkins with us. Tigers had a rough week on the road. They go 0-2, lose a tough one at Missouri Western last Friday, 3-1, and then swept up at Northwest Missouri State on Saturday 3-0. They'll be on the road to wrap up the regular season at Missouri Southern tomorrow night, and then at number 21 Central Missouri on Friday evening. And kind of a rough weekend. You knew you had to do well, and boy, that Western match it was a tight one. Could have gone either way. 3 of the 4 sets were really close, and just kind of unfortunate. Didn't go your way on Friday.
No, it didn't. And that was a tough one. I mean, we were working with a new lineup. So Gracie Rains is our top point scorer, and she was still out with the flu. So she was missing all weekend, and that, hurts a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think that it was tight and it was a lot of competition. And that night, like, we scored well, we blocked well. But we also made too many errors when it was tight. And so I think, it's always tough playing that road trip. That road trip tests your team's stability, and it did. But yeah, I mean, I think it was what it was. I mean, we did the best we could with the cards that were dealt.
You mentioned Range being out, and I mean, it's always, next man up, so to speak. But when it's your top scorer, it's your top scorer, and they're there for a reason. I mean, not that no one's irreplaceable, but that is a key cog to not have in the lineup. Yeah,
when you're relying on a certain amount of points, or an average of a certain amount of points it is. And you can play the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't think that's fair. I think Taylor Hawkins came in, and she did her very best. But Emily and Riley were also nursing sprained ankles. They were playing on sprained ankles, and I was really proud of them, because Emily is just so tough. You can't tell. She'll be tearing up on the sideline, and she'll be talking trash on the court, and I love that about her. But I think that they fared pretty well, and they led the team as best we could. And I still think that they did a pretty good job.
And then you come back, and Northwest Missouri State, always tough. And as you said, second day of the road trip, and with all those things you're fighting, it felt like it was one of those matches just couldn't quite get things going.
Yeah, we played terrible on Saturday. We did.
I was trying to be nice, but
yeah. I'll be honest. We played terrible on Saturday. And Northwest, I think that Missouri Western is a much more physical team. Like, they're faster, they're a little bit more powerful, but Northwest is definitely a smarter team. And they will just evaluate and pick you apart. And as soon as they see a weakness, they go after it, And we didn't hold up very well when they attacked that. The girls let the frustration get to them instead of, making the adjustments needed. And that's where we were lacking a little depth on our bench. But yeah, we didn't play well on Saturday.
You mentioned those adjustments. Is that something that, as you look at this group, and there's still a lot of young parts to it, that's an area they've got to improve on? Because it seems like when they have made those adjustments, they've fared pretty well, but then there have been times where it's maybe not been there to your liking to kind of adjust on the fly a little bit as the matches are going along.
Oh, yeah. It's coming, but it is definitely a maturing piece. And like you said, you can see it at times, and then at other times you can see where they can let the fatigue and the frustration get to them, and that's an immaturing piece, that just comes with practice and figuring out. And that's what we talked about. I mean, we've got two great leaders in Emily and Riley, but our leaders on our offense and our defense are both sophomores. And so, that plays a part. And when they're on, we do really, really well. And when they're a little bit off, it shows. But it is coming. And so I expect them to keep progressing.
Well, hopefully, yeah, as you said. And I mean, you had some veterans, but this is a young squad, and I think that's maybe some of the ups and downs. But you're hoping that obviously they're gathering this in as you can wind down the season, start looking at the off season and building to next year, that they've improved in this area, and they can take that into that off season to be stronger and to be even better leaders next season when you bring it all back together.
Oh, sure, and we've got some good pieces to build on. I mean, I'm really proud of, our second middle, Ashlyn Reeves. I mean, she and Emily are second and third in the conference in blocks per set, and that is the best that we've ever had. And she acts like an upperclassman, and she moves like an upperclassman. And, we can look at things like that, and we can build on it. But I think for us, for our team, we still have a shot to make it to the tournament, you know. And so they've got to learn to let that frustration go and to face forward like we have been doing this fall. We've had some ups and downs, and it's like, well, drop that one. You know how to do this. Like, regain your focus and get a little tougher, and let's go get it done.
You mentioned some of the error. Is hitting an area? I mean, have you been happy with your team, the way they've hit? I mean, it seems like, again, it kind of goes in spurts. You're attacking well, and then other times it's maybe not so well.
Is a coach ever really happy?
I know it's a loaded question because that answer is no.
Never satisfied. No, we make too many errors.
Okay.
We make too many errors, and that's where it comes to the depth of our bench. mentioned them getting a little bit cleaner. But yeah, that hit us hard this weekend, is that, if you make an error, you got to be able to let it go and play clean for at least the next 5 points. And we've got one or two on our team that if they make an error, we know they're going to make an error the next time. So we try to remove them out of the situation until they have figured that piece out. But yeah, that's been plaguing us.
Yep, that's one of those maturity levels that hopefully, as it clicks differently for every player, but eventually that comes because you can see the talent out there. You can see the raw ability just to putting it all together. And as you see it so often, the light switch, so to speak, turns on differently for different players, but hopefully it comes quickly for some of them.
Yeah, and I think it's on for the majority of them.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was an off week, but most of the time they are on, and that's what you're looking for, and that's what we're hoping for this weekend.
All right, let's talk about the weekend. At Missouri Southern, and then at number 21 Central Missouri. Obviously, a tough challenge to close things out, and that first one against Southern, obviously the key one. You can find a way to go down there, play well, and get the win. Who knows? I mean, so obviously that's the big match, I think, going into this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, the big match is always the next one.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, I mean, it is a big match in a lot of ways. But I think that the one thing that we like about this pairing, we know these teams pretty well. We went to 5 with Missouri Southern at home. And that was right after we'd kind of, gone through a little lull. But we step up to the plate when it comes to them. And so I expect it to be a well-fought match. And I think that we are stronger than them in some areas, and we're going to have to learn how to attack there and manage their strengths. They've got an outside hitter that does a really good job, and if we can manage her, I think we've got a really, really good shot at taking that match.
Yeah, you look last time you played them, first set you lose 25-18, and the rest of them were all tied and down to the wire. They eventually beat you in 5. What do they do well? What do you have to do to counter to try to negate that and get yourself a win?
They've got 2 really key hitters. One is their middle, and she runs the slide really well, but she can't run the slide if they can't pass. And they're not the greatest passing team. So, they're a little bit streaky. They do have good passers, but they're streaky. And so we have to attack them hard on the serve. And so if we're serving hard, we're going for more aces. That might also mean a few more errors, when you're really trying to put your strength and weight behind that. So, but that's part of the game plan, is to keep that girl out of scoring the points, and then you're only focused on the one outside hitter, and she's just crafty. I think she's the little Bolivian girl, and she is just smart. She's very, very smart. She sees the block very well. She's dynamic and jumpy, and so she can hit really anywhere on the court. And so making sure that our block is solid and not moving around in the middle of the air so our defenders can get set up and see her clearly, I think is going to be a key. And then if we can manage that and run our hitters off of a dig, I think that we're in good shape.
And then Central Missouri, and I know that's your focus on Missouri Southern, but they're ranked 21st. You beat them earlier this year at Hazen 5, so they're going to be ready for you, but yet you beat them. That's the confidence going into that one, obviously, for your team should be there.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a game of blocking for sure. They're a good blocking team. We're a better blocking team. And we have a tendency of shutting a few of their key hitters down when they get blocked. They kind of get you can take them out of their game. And so that's one of the things that we're going after. Their setter is really good. She does a good job of creating openings for their hitters, and so it's going to be a battle for sure. But I think that the difference between Missouri Southern runs a little bit more dynamic offense. Central Missouri is very predictable. They do
what they do.
They hit hard. And so, but at least we know what they want to do, and we can set up for that.
And real quick, Health, you mentioned you've had the flu bug going around like everybody else. You've had some injuries. How you guys doing going into this final week of the regular season?
We're on the up and up. So
good.
Riley is better. Riley was only jumping about half her jump last weekend, and she looks better. On Monday, she said she's feeling good. And so she's all clear. Grace is back, but she's been out for a week, and you can tell.
We know how that goes.
So, I expect her. She's not going to be starting right away, but if she can work her way back in, I think she'll be all right. And Emily is actually doing good. She's still nursing the ankle a little bit, so we're actually not able to jump her at practice right now. we're saving that for the weekend, but I have every ounce of faith in her. She's just steady. She knows how to work, so she'll be fine.
Well, sounds good. Best of luck. Hopefully it's a good weekend, and see what happens the rest of the way. If there's more volleyball, we appreciate you joining us. Travel safe, and go get those Lions Friday.
Thank you.
There you go. That's Jessica Wood-Atkins. Again, it'll be 6 o'clock both nights. I say Friday, Thursday, tomorrow, 6 o'clock, and then on Friday at 6 o'clock, Missouri Southern and Central Missouri. And, of course, they'll all be on the MIAA network. Tiger Talk brought to you by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI. Our family in partnership with your family. More Tiger Talk next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here. It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Dixon, the running back. He lines up right of Dawson with the shotgun. And they're going to play action. They throw it to Watts. He breaks a tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Fort Hays State. Trevor Watts. A 27-yard touchdown catch. And now flags again at the end of the play after the Tigers retake the lead 20-14. Yeah, more of the action from the first quarter on Saturday in Warrensburg, Fort Hays State and Central Missouri. Tiger Talk brought to you today by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the most comprehensive orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Learn more at hayesmed.com/orthopedics. Joined now by head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers fall to the now 8th-ranked Central Missouri Mules, 47-28, led 28-24 at halftime. And, boy, frustrating in the sense that your guys were right there, and just a few opportunities in the second half you didn't cash on offensively. But when you play the Mules, they are such a high-octane offense. You have to take advantage of all of those opportunities if you're going to have a chance to win. You couldn't quite do it in the second half and come up a little bit short against the Mules.
Yeah, we did. Even that's the fourth quarter, it's 33-28. I mean, we're only down 5 points, and we got to find a way to score points and not give up the big play. We gave up a couple of big plays defensively, and then had a couple of shank punts as well that kind of hurt things and gave good field position. So there's just mistakes that we got to eliminate, and hopefully we do that this week.
You look at that second half, it kind of in some ways reminds you of the Pittsburgh State game because you were there, had the lead at halftime, and yet it was different. I mean, you guys battled for the 4 quarters. You look about 3 different plays. The flea flicker to start the fourth quarter. They don't call pass interference. Probably should have been, but they didn't. You can get that play. You had an opportunity on a pass to Bryson Smith. He had it as he tries to tuck it. I mean, it's been a difficult catch as he was laying out for it, but you're in their territory. And then when Jack went deep to try to hit Watts, he catches him out of bounds, but he had room to run, it appeared like. If you can, those 3 plays probably changes the game because 2 of those you're only down 5. The other one, it's still just a 2-possession game. If you could convert on even 1 or 2 of those 3 opportunities in the second half, who knows how it goes. And nothing else, it's very tight down the stretch.
Yeah, it is. We score one of those situations and, make it even 31-33. We still got opportunity to go kick a field goal later in the game, and but we did capitalize on those things that we need to start capitalizing on. And even the pick, if his arm doesn't get hit, it's first down.
Yeah.
Now we get on their side of the field as well, and good things are happening. But we just kind of have these stupid little things that just kind of keep holding us back just a little bit. But it's a young group, and they're still trying to learn. And then there's like some new guys on this team as well that are still trying to learn what we're doing. But we got to make the plays when our name's called.
You had to be happy, obviously, with the first half, and especially the way you responded. They get the big play, score a touchdown to their first drive, and you come right back down the field, 9 plays, 54 yards, and answer them. And, I mean, you're answering them blow to blow. I think you stopped them on back-to-back possessions, which hasn't happened a whole lot to them this year. I mean, it sounds crazy. You give up 47 points. They have over 500 yards of offense, yet I thought your defense played pretty well against them considering what they have done and just how high-flying they are.
Yeah, that offense is fast. It's explosive. They have big plays, and that's something that we needed to limit. I think we gave up 4 or 5 big plays that gave points on the board, and they probably don't get to their – Well, I guess we held them underneath their average.
Yeah.
What, 2 points maybe?
2 points, yeah.
And I think they're averaging 600-some yards a game, and we kind of held them underneath that as well. But, our guys played well. It's just the big plays we got to eliminate.
It was good, and I know Shane Watts kind of tweaked an ankle a little bit, but good to see Travis Dixon come in and do well. His best game of the year, he caught a few passes, he scores a couple of rushing touchdowns, ran hard, ran strong, and continue to see that running game do well. And kind of the game plan, you had some nice drives to keep the ball out of their hands.
Yeah, we did, and that's what was the game plan. And we got to work together offensively and defensively and try to keep their offense off the field because they're so explosive. And our offense did that in the first half. I mean, they truly did. Our run game was going and hitting some pass plays here and there for big plays. And that's just how it works. And for our kids, they played hard the entire time. And but Travis Dixon, that kid, there's the guy we've been looking for all season long. Ran hard, ran physical, broke some tackles. His touchdown was exactly how he wanted it. Most guys just kind of run out of bounds, but he actually goes into contact to make sure he scores that touchdown, and he did. But that's the guy we've been looking for. And
his second touchdown, I think play or two before, he hurdles a guy. I mean, he was going to get that first down, got you to the end goal situation, then got rewarded with the 1-yard touchdown run. But he ran hard, and you've kind of had that 2 to 3-headed monster there at running back, and then when one of them goes down, you needed that. That was fun to see. How's Shane doing? How's that ankle responding? Is there a chance to play on Saturday?
Yeah, he'll be ready to go.
Okay.
He's going to practice today and be ready. So, everybody that has some bumps and bruises there will be practicing today and ready to go.
And Trevor, his brother, had a great day receiving, well over 100 yards, found the end zone again, and he kind of became the guy because give Central credit. They cut Jaden Horace down and didn't really let him get open too much. I think he was held to one catch, but by doing that left Trevor open, and he and Jack found a way to connect and make some big plays.
Yeah, Trevor's done well this year. I mean, he really has improved. He's always kind of been so banged up, but this year he stayed healthy. Knock on wood, he stays that way. But the kid's a tremendous athlete. He's so fast, and he's not big, but he is strong, and he can break some tackles and things like that. So, but it's good to have him. He can make some things happen, and we got one guy gets shut down. That means they're either doubling him, and somebody else is going to be open. And he just happened to be the guy that was open this week.
Obviously, a tough loss. How did your team handle it? I know you're just now getting back to practicing and preparing, but how did the team handle all that, and just their mind frame going into this regular season finale here on Saturday?
We had a good talk after the game. I asked him, did you give everything you had? Did you leave it all on the field? And if you did, then, I'm proud of you. If you didn't, then there's some things that we got to work on. But, for the most part, I'd say 99% of those guys that stepped on that field gave everything that they had to win that ball game. And so they say you should be proud of themselves. They hung with a team that was number 11 in the country. A little bit older team. We're a little bit younger, but, you're there. There's opportunities for you to score some points in the game or keep points off the board, and we win that ball game. So don't get your heads down. There's still a lot to play for, and, hopefully this week they'll be ready. This is a group of kids that they play hard, they play physical, they understand the game, and they're going to bounce back pretty quick.
And the Hornets are coming to town, so if you don't get excited to play Emporia State, then probably shouldn't be playing. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank. Your life has a story. Golden Belt Bank wants to get to know that story. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. You can visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. We'll preview the regular season finale this Saturday afternoon. The Emporia State Hornets coming to town. We'll do that next. You're listening to Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Second and inches, the ball just shy of the goal line. Dixon to the left of Dawson, up the middle. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. Travis Dixon with his second rushing touchdown of the day. And the Tigers have retaken the lead with 2:07 to go in the second quarter. They now lead 27-21 on a 13-play scoring drive. Yeah, that was that Dixon 1-yard touchdown run. Now the Tigers back at home. Final game of the regular season Saturday, 1 o'clock at Lewis Field. The Emporia State Hornets. So before we preview the Hornets as our broadcast schedule with the crossover of football and basketball, so I don't run out of time at the very end. Friday, the men and women open up their basketball season. We'll have them both right over on Tiger Radio Mix 103. Women play at 2:45 against Minot State in St. Joseph, Missouri. We'll have that on KJLS. And then Friday night, the Tiger men in Southwestern Oklahoma State in Emporia. That is a 7:45 tip. So both games Friday on Tiger Radio Mix 103. Both will be streamed on the MIAA TV network. Then Saturday, the women play Minnesota State, the number 2 ranked team in the country, in St. Joe. That's also a 2:45 tip. That game will be on 96.9 KFIX because of the conflict with football. Fort Hays State football with Emporia State on KJLS as normal. 1 o'clock tip, Tiger Tailgate Show at noon. And then basketball will follow. They play at 5:45 in Emporia against Arkansas Tech. So everything on KJLS with the exception of the women's game on Saturday. That'll be on 96.9 KFIX. And again, all of them streamed on the MIAA network. All right, Fort Hays State trying to wrap up the regular season with 8 wins. And it's kind of strange expectations and kind of a testament to what you've done. In 117 years of football, there's been 9 seasons of 8 or more wins, and 4 of those have come in the last 7 years. It's hard to believe, and now we're looking at, boy, 8 wins would be great. We probably should have 8, maybe should have 9. I mean, it's a testament to what you've done, but obviously a chance to flip from 3-8 to 8-3. Who knows if there's any postseason on the line, but regardless, big game, and would mean a whole lot to find that way to get 8 wins.
Yeah, it is, and it's nothing I've done. It's the kids that we have and their effort and their work ethic and the character, is kind of, why we've been able to do what we've done, just because we got the right kids that work hard and do everything that we ask them to do. And, this is one of those groups. I mean, they've really changed the culture back to where it used to be, and, I'm proud of those kids. And there is a lot to play for. We have 6 seniors we're going to recognize on Saturday, and that shows you how young we are, because there's only 6 out of 150-something guys. Yeah. We have 6 guys, and one of those is the late Daniel Howard as well, who will be recognized. So really, 5, and then him as well. So, but there is, that, and pride, and getting the 8th win, and really going from a 3-8 season to an 8-3 season is a big turnaround, and trying to get to a bowl game as well. So there's still a lot on the line to play for.
Talk about Emporia State. We talk so much about Central Missouri and their offense. Emporia runs even faster. They average a few more plays per game. They had 103 plays in their win over Missouri Southern on Saturday. I guess this past weekend was a good tune-up for what you're going to face on Saturday at home.
Yeah, they're just as fast offensively. Probably didn't throw the deep ball just as much as Central Missouri does, but they're a lot of short routes that just kind of frustrate you as a defense because they're getting first downs and just kind of running the clock. But it's going to be on our offense again has to get on the field and keep the ball out of their hands. And defensively, we got to get some stops and get some turnovers as well. So it's a lot of 3-step. You can't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback because it's out of his hands pretty quick. So our D-linemen have to get their hands up and try to knock some of those balls down as well. But offensively, we just need to get a run game going. Hopefully, get some big plays off of that as well, and some play action stuff like that to go deep on them. But it's a huge game for us, and they're a very good football team. And we're both sitting here at 7-3 right now, and we've both lost to the same exact teams. So hopefully, we can give them that L on Saturday.
Well, hopefully so. Another good quarterback in Braden Gleason. I mean, he's had a solid career and having a great senior campaign.
He is. He's smart. He sees things very well. Ball gets out of his hand really quick, and you can kind of tell if it's not there, he's able to buy some time and throw the ball deep. So we got to find a way to keep him in check.
All right, sounds good. Should be fun. Get there for Senior Day. It's not going to take long, which is exciting for what could lie ahead with this football program. But certainly good to honor those guys and hopefully put the wraps on the regular season with an 8th win. Coach, as always, appreciate it. And go get those Hornets.
Thanks, Gerard. Appreciate
there you go. That's head coach Chris Brown. Again, a reminder, Fort Hays State football invites you to join Tiger fans with a plan. If you're going to be drinking, always designate a sober driver. Again, 1 o'clock kick Saturday from Lewis Field. We're on the air at noon with the Tiger Tailgate Show presented by Auto World Used Cars. And we told you about the women's and men's basketball games on Friday and then again on Saturday as crossover season continues. Tiger Talk brought to you today by the Hayes-Mid Orthopedic Institute, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, BTI, and the Taco Shop. That'll wrap it up for today. We'll see you again next Wednesday right here on Tiger Talk. Voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk Wednesday afternoons at 12:10 on KAYS. The show is part of the weekly Tiger Club meetings live from the Robbins Center on the Fort Hays State campus and brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, and BTI, your area John Deere dealer. That's Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club Wednesdays at 12:10 on 94.3 FM and 1400 AM KAYS.